how he goes today.
All in. That off. 12 runners over a mile and a quarter in the third race. The Tote Fantasy, who's in your stable out of BF Maiden. Prominent both Young Ireland and Cape Bridgewater. Stretching on a couple of lengths in front. The end of the first furlong from Bright Legend. Fourth place is Time Tells All, and they're followed up the far side by Lilac Lady and Deacon in mid-division. Next is Lucky Question, who's followed by Casino Lutraki. On the outside is Ethical Diamond, and then Roseanne, Serotonin, and Mingle, the final couple. Just a little over 7 furlongs to go, and moving on a length in front is Cape Bridgewater. Heads Young Ireland, followed by Bright Legend. Making the bend in fourth is Time Tells All as they climb uphill. Little changes up front. It's Cape Bridgewater, Shamie Heffernan cutting out the running from Young Ireland and Luke McAteer. In third place is Bright Legend and Joey Sheridan. In fourth is Time Tells All and Chris Hayes. On the inside is Lucky Question, followed on rising ground by Deacon. And Lilac Lady next with Ethical Diamond and Roseanne, Casino Lutraki and Serotonin. Ridden along at the back of the field is Mingle, nicely spaced out as they come up to the 5, the halfway stage, and the Tote Fantasy, who's in your stable out is BF Maiden. The leader is Cape Bridgewater, striding on, less than 3 lengths in front of Young Ireland. In third place is Bright Legend. Fourth is Time Tells All. Moving into fifth place is Deacon, who's followed with half a mile to go by Lilac Lady. Pushed along Lucky Question, then Ethical Diamond, who's followed for home by Serotonin, Roseanne and Casino Lutraki. Heads turned for home with 3 furlongs to go. Cape Bridgewater is reeled back in by Young Ireland, who is now within 3 parts of a length. Bright Legend is third, ridden to close as Time Tells All, ahead of Deacon, and these 5 break clear of Ethical Diamond and Serotonin as they come past the 2. Young Ireland wrestles back the lead. Challenging is Time Tells All on the outside of Bright Legend. Fading fast is Cape Bridgewater, and then Deacon, who's followed by Ethical Diamond. Young Ireland is trying to fight off the dual challenge of Bright Legend and Time Tells All. Inside the final furlong, wandering is Bright Legend. It's Young Ireland, the leader, from Bright Legend, and Time Tells All well clear of Ethical Diamond and Deacon. It's Young Ireland over on the far side. Drifting stand side is Bright Legend, and as they go towards the line, Bright Legend gets up, nails Young Ireland. Time Tells All third.
To say there was no hiding place in this maiden would not be an exaggeration.
Well, he may have looked a slightly reluctant hero, but Bright Legend has built on that promising debut at the Curragh on the opening weekend of the season to score at the second attempt here under Joe Sheridan. And Fran Berry watched it with me. Fran, it was a true test thanks to Cape Bridgewater. I must say, I was impressed by Joe Sheridan's ride there. He tried to nurse him, and he's clearly not straightforward, this horse. He tried to nurse him as much as he could, and in the end, he had to ask a more serious question. Luckily enough, the response was forthcoming eventually.
It was once he got there, Gary, once he got straightened out. But this is the key point in the race. He's going to challenge Young Ireland, and as the eventual third begins to drop away, Time Tells All, he just balks left, so he does without much warning. And you can see the ears gone forward. Now he's beginning to lose momentum. Joey Sheridan pulls the whip through his left hand, and as he gets a couple of backhanders into him, he just relents to go and lengthen and get his head in front at the right time. Clearly a lot more in the locker than what he's shown here today, ability-wise, and thankfully for connections, he's got the nod. It could have went horribly wrong at that point in time, but really strongly run race. Shamie Heffernan, as anticipated, made a real test on this tiring ground on Cape Bridgewater. Deacon, who I liked and looked well in the ring, was totally out of his comfort zone here today. And Time Tells All, the beaten favourite, travelled really well into race, Gary, but I didn't like the way he ran around under pressure. He showed that on debut at Navan. I gave him the benefit of the doubt, but today I just thought he lay down, and that awkward head carriage maybe wants better ground, but I just was disappointed that he didn't hang in there for longer. That's the key point where the winner has gone to his left. And it's only, what, the last 50 yards that he's able to get rolling.
Such a dramatic swerve, wasn't it? Well, it was a swerve first, and then he just continued to go left when Joe Sheridan tried to straighten him up.